Have you got an abscess on your trunk? You do, don't you? Yes, there you go. See in the middle of the trunk, very close to where the tusks are, there's a big lump there. What has happened to you there? Now, it's quite common to actually see this on elephants, is they sometimes pieces of wood stuck in there or some sort of thorn, and it causes an abscess to grow, and it will eventually sort itself out. That hopefully will burst at some point, and that'll be the end of it, and we'll have a situation where it'll be a lot more comfortable. I'm going to try roll forward a bit further so we can just actually see them, because at the moment all we can see is a big fat bush. So let's try and get through here. Ooh. You right there, Senzo? You still with me? Excellent, buddy. So there we go, that's actually quite nice. Now we can actually see the mud being thrown all over the place, and we're not in the firing line by being in front. Had we gone the other way, we would have been in serious problems. I think we'd been covered in mud by now, which would have been less delightful. She looks like she's having a royal time, doesn't she? She's got a nice thick black mud that is going to be thrown all over the place, and the Ellies will be absolutely loving the fact that we've had a bit of rain. They're going to be thoroughly thrilled that rain has come. And actually, if you look at her, you see she's used her tusk at some point as well to dig that mud up. Look at how black her tusk is. It doesn't look white at all at the moment. It's just got this dark mud-covered tusk on the left side. So I think the mud and lifted it up. They do sometimes do that when they are trying to get right in there and try and churn everything up so that they can get enough to actually throw over themselves, which is very clever. Is the little one going to go head first? I think the little one looks like it's going to lie down. Are you going to lie down? It looks like you want to. I think Mom's in the way for now. As soon as Mom gets out the way, I think we can have a situation where that little one is going to lie down. Francis, you say this is like a spa day? Exactly like a spa day. This is why the Ellies are here, is to make them skin feel better and to look after themselves and to spoil themselves. So they're doing it not only to cool down, but also, look. You see how she's going to use the tusks? You see what I was saying? So she digs her tusks in, and then she lifts up, and that causes the mud to break a little bit, and she can then get more water from where just underneath that muddy area. Very cool to see. And I hope that she doesn't make too much of a mess there from now, because when they leave, I want to go there and I'll hopefully be able to show you the track of her head actually going into the mud with the 2 holes and her forehead impression on the bank, which would have been very cool. But back to the spa day thing, the reason why they're doing this is obviously cool down is the most important part of it, but the second reason that they're doing it is also just to control parasites and to keep their skin in good condition. This acts as almost like a body scrub, and so once they've mud wallowed like this, they'll often go up to a tree and just rub up against it, and it gets rid of any dead skin cells, any little parasites that are going to get encrusted in that mud will be pulled off, and so it just keeps the elephant really in good condition. Now don't make a mess there. I want to see your nice tracks. I think I've got no chance at this stage. I think she's going to just break everything. Yes, well done. We're just watching you, don't worry. I don't think she's very happy with me wanting to see her tracks. But now little one's going to come in and get going as well. I don't think there's much mud left for you, little one. I think Mom has used it all. She also doesn't quite have the technique down in comparison to the way Mom does. Most of the mud that's on that little one was from the mother throwing it all over it, and it's basically just throwing clumps of mud at its own forehead at this stage. It's not very elegant at all, is it? Cute though. They lack elegance, but certainly makes up for it in overload of cuteness at the moment. Very cool to see. And here comes the older sibling, which is par for the course. Older siblings will do this every time. So, Bex, you reckon it's like they've lined up to have a bit of a wallow? Exactly. It's like it's when you go to a theme park or a sort of water park and you all have to line up for the slide. It's exactly the same thing. So everybody's kind of lines up and then each one gets their turn. Although, I have a funny... Oh, goodness, here we go. He's going to lie down. I don't think you've chosen the best mud wallow, Ellies. This is far too small for you. That's not stopping this elephant at all. How cool is this? And this is why I love watching Ellies. So as much as I love leopards and I will spend every day with leopards and every moment I can, but elephants are incredibly fun to be around, and especially when they do stuff like this. It is amazing to kind of watch them, and they seem to have such fun when it's been raining, and there's joy in their kind of expressions when they find a muddy wallow like this and, well, just put their bum in the air and their head on the ground. I suppose that's the technique, is bum in the air, head on the ground, roll around, and get as much mud as you can on you as quick as possible. I'm sure many mothers will sympathize with this as to the kids doing similar things, and I'm sure many pet owners that have dogs that have watched dogs do very similar things too. How cool is that? Is the little one also going to come back for more? Seems like it. Might be a situation where one leg in the air. Now we're even freestyling it. Right, we're going to hold a speaking because we're going to do a little short action broadcast to show everybody the cuteness. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this very, very interesting behavior from two elephants. So it's an incredible way to spend an afternoon. We're sitting with these ellies and they've just come down to this little muddy wallow and they're having the best time. Now, it's two siblings that are going crazy, and so hopefully they're going to roll around and continue to entertain us a little bit further. Now, this is a live interactive broadcast, which means that you can get hold of us and you can ask any questions that you may have. You can just post your questions in the comment section below and we'll try and answer as many as possible. My name is Tristan. On camera I've got Senzo, and these ellies, like I say, have just come down to this little mud wallow. So mom came first, and now we've got a situation where the young ones have come in and they're trying to dig up as much mud as possible. And while it looks like a lot of fun and that they're playing and they're having the best time, it's actually there for a purpose. These ellies are basically trying to cover themselves with mud in order to just make themselves cool. It's a muggy afternoon. We've had a lot of rain last night and it's quite sort of hot in the summer months, and so it's humid, and that means that the ellies like to get a bit of cool mud just to help that cooling process. And the other thing is then to just try and look after their skin. So this is acting almost like an exfoliant for their skin. Christine, you say these elephants are cracking you up. They are very funny, aren't they? They're super cute, and it's amazing to watch ellies when they find mud. They go into absolute kid mode where it's just roll around, carry on, head first, mud everywhere, and they become these very playful, interactive animals. It's really amazing actually to watch how their demeanor changes. And the best thing is when you find a big herd and a big wallow, because then you find the whole herd behaves like this, not even the little ones. You'll find mothers come in and even the aunts, and everybody kind of rolls around and goes absolutely crazy together. Now, I don't think they're going to be here for too much longer because mom has wandered off quite far and the young ones often don't like to be left behind. So I think this one is maybe going to try and stand up. It's going to take a bit of effort because the way that it's lying, it's got its back legs kind of behind it, and it's now going to have to get everything back together. So Peter, you're asking how often do they need to take these types of baths? Well, it depends, Peter. It depends on weather conditions. So the hotter it is, the more often they do it. Like I said, it is there to try and help them cool down. But generally, you'll find at least 2 times a day. Sometimes if it's really hot weather, we've seen elephants come and do this maybe 4, 5, 6 times in a day. But generally, at least once or twice a day, they'll kind of come and do it. Even in cooler conditions, they do it just to protect their skin, keep their skin in good condition, get rid of parasites and any sort of bits of loose dead debris that's on them, any sort of issues that they have that they can go and rub off and just kind of exfoliate, as well as, like I say, just in a cooling process. But you'll see now it's now found water itself, which it's going to throw probably on its chest and its ears to try and make sure that it just cools down even more and makes it as comfortable as possible. Now, Paula, you're wondering if they could get stuck. So yes, they can get stuck, but not in places like this. So this mud is far too shallow for them to get stuck. It's a situation where this mud is kind of very, very sort of shallow and there's no real danger in an elephant of that size getting stuck. But when you get big mud wallows, particularly in drought seasons, when a crust forms, then little babies often go in there and they get stuck, and you'll find the whole herd will come and try and kind of get them out. And it's amazing actually to watch elephants in the way that they'll dig and try and pull everybody out and make sure everybody stays nice and safe. Now, unfortunately, they are disappearing. They've gone into a very